Ladies and gentlemen, you ever notice how sometimes the things we want the most are right in front of us, but we don't see them? Life has a funny way of testing us. It makes us chase, it makes us struggle, and sometimes it makes us step back. That's what I want to talk about today. Confidence in delivering a speech is not just about standing tall or having a strong voice. It's about owning every word you say and making the audience feel that you truly believe in your message. When you talk about something as personal and powerful as relationships and self-worth, the way you present it matters as much as the words themselves. Pauses are one of the most underestimated tools in speech delivery. A pause isn't empty space. It's a powerful moment that gives the audience time to absorb what you just said, to feel the weight of your message. For instance, when you say something like, create distance, and he'll see you, pausing right after distance allows that word to sink in. People in the audience will reflect on what distance really means in their lives and relationships. Pausing before or after key phrases creates tension and anticipation, making your speech feel more like a story than just words strung together. Confidence shows in the way you control your pacing, in the way you look around the room and make eye contact with different people, and in how you emphasize certain words while softening others. Even a small gesture, a step forward, or a slight raise of your hand, timed with a pause, can reinforce your point and make the audience feel your sincerity. The key is to practice, not to rush, and to believe in the power of your message. The more comfortable you are with silence, the more powerful your speech becomes. Silence is not weakness. It is confidence in action, allowing your words to resonate in the minds of everyone listening. When you combine confidence with timed pauses, you don't just speak, you captivate. Adding a personal touch to your speech is what transforms it from a generic talk into something memorable and relatable. When you speak about love, self-worth, and creating distance in relationships, the audience needs to feel that you have lived these experiences or at least understand them deeply. Sharing anecdotes, small stories, or even little observations from your life allows the listeners to see themselves in your words. You could talk about a moment when someone didn't recognize your value until you stepped back, or when a friend realized your importance only after you created some space. These stories don't have to be dramatic. Sometimes the smallest, everyday experiences resonate the most because they are genuine and relatable. Humor can also be a part of this personal touch. A lighthearted comment or a funny observation about human behavior keeps the audience engaged while still making a point. It shows that you are approachable and real, not just delivering a lecture. Personal touch is also about the way you phrase your sentences. Use words like, we've all been there, or you know that feeling, to directly connect with your audience. This kind of language draws people in and makes them feel like they are part of the conversation rather than passive listeners. The emotional connection you build by being personal is what sticks in people's minds long after the speech is over. It turns abstract ideas into lived experiences, making your message of respect, self-worth, and recognition tangible. The more authentic and heartfelt your examples are, the more the audience will trust you, relate to you, and absorb the lessons you're sharing, making your speech far more impactful and memorable. Body language is one of the most powerful tools you have when delivering a speech, and it often speaks louder than the words themselves. When discussing relationships, self-respect, and creating distance, your gestures, posture, And movement can reinforce the emotions behind your message in a way that words alone cannot. Standing tall with shoulders back communicates confidence and authority, showing the audience that you genuinely believe in what you are saying. Even subtle movements, like leaning slightly forward when making a key point or raising your hands for emphasis, help to draw people in and focus their attention on your message. Eye contact is another critical element. Looking at different parts of the audience allows you to connect with individuals, making each listener feel seen and included. A pause while holding eye contact can make a statement even more powerful, giving weight to the words you just said and allowing the audience to reflect. Facial expressions also matter. Showing sincerity through a smile, a thoughtful frown, or a moment of contemplation makes your message more relatable. Movement across the stage or speaking space should be intentional rather than random. Stepping forward has not strong point, can make your words feel like they are reaching the audience directly, while stepping back at a reflective moment can signal thoughtfulness or create space for the audience to absorb what you said. Even small gestures, like opening your palms or nodding slightly, can convey honesty and openness. When body language aligns with your words, your audience feels the authenticity and emotion behind your speech, making the message more persuasive, memorable, and impactful. It transforms a simple talk into an experience that resonates beyond the moment. Tone variation is one of the most effective ways to keep an audience engaged and emotionally connected to your speech. When speaking about topics like relationships, self-respect, and creating distance, the way you say something can be just as important as what you are saying. A flat, monotone delivery can make even the most powerful message feel dull, while carefully changing your tone at the right moments can emphasize key points and stir emotions. For instance, when sharing a moment of frustration or disappointment, lowering your voice slightly and speaking slowly can convey seriousness and make the audience feel the weight of your experience. On the other hand, when delivering an empowering message, increasing your volume, speaking with energy, and adding a lively rhythm can inspire and motivate your listeners. Tone variation also helps in storytelling. When recounting a personal anecdote, shifting your tone to reflect humor, sadness, or surprise allows the audience to experience the story as you lived it. It creates a sense of intimacy, making them feel like they are right there with you. Additionally, pauses combined with tone changes can make a statement even more impactful. A quiet, reflective tone after a pause gives people time to absorb what you said, while the sudden change to a stronger, more enthusiastic tone can reignite attention and drive a point home. Your tone acts as an emotional guide, helping the audience navigate through the highs and lows of your message. By mastering tone variation, you can turn a simple speech into an engaging performance, making your words not only heard, but felt deeply, leaving a lasting impression long after you step off the stage. Audience connection is the heartbeat of any successful speech, because no matter how powerful your words are, if the listeners don't feel involved, your message can easily be lost. Connecting with your audience means making them feel seen, understood, and part of the story you're telling. One of the simplest yet most effective ways to do this is through eye contact. By looking directly at different individuals in the room, you create a sense of personal engagement, as if you are speaking to each person one-on-one. Another powerful method is asking rhetorical questions or using phrases like, "We've all experienced this," or "Haven't we all been there?" This draws the audience into your thought process prompting them to reflect and nod in agreement. Sharing relatable experiences or small anecdotes also strengthens the bond because it shows that you understand the struggles and triumphs that everyone faces. Your choice of language matters too. Words like you and we make the speech inclusive, making the audience feel like collaborators in the conversation rather than passive listeners. Tone, pacing, and gestures work hand in hand with content to deepen this connection. A warm smile, a slight nod, or a gentle pause can convey empathy and understanding, making your audience feel safe and appreciated. Listening to the room is equally important. If you notice confusion, laughter, or emotional reactions, adjusting your delivery to match the audience's energy keeps them engaged. Ultimately, audience connection trams your speech from a one-way lecture into a shared experience. When listeners feel involved and recognized, they internalize your message more deeply, remember it longer, and leave feeling personally touched, motivated, or inspired by the words you shared. The closing punch of a speech is the moment that lingers in the audience's minds long after the last word is spoken. And it is what turns a good speech into an unforgettable one. It's the point where all the ideas, stories, and emotions you have shared converge into a single, powerful message that resonates deeply. A strong closing punch does not rely on filler or repetition. It relies on clarity, emotion, and impact. One technique is to summarize your main points in a way that feels natural, tying together your stories, examples, and lessons without sounding mechanical. Another method is to end with a vivid image or metaphor that captures the essence of your message, something the audience can visualize and carry with them. Timing and delivery play a crucial role here as well. A pause before the final line gives the audience a moment to prepare, while a slight change in tone, stronger, louder, or more heartfelt, can make your final words feel decisive and memorable. Repetition of a key phrase or word can also strengthen the punch, making it stick in the listener's memory, but it must feel intentional rather than forced. Including a call to action or a thought-provoking statement encourages the audience to reflect or act upon what they've heard. Importantly, confidence, emotion, and authenticity must shine through in these last moments. If the audience senses that you genuinely believe in your closing words, they are far more likely to internalize your message. The closing punch is your opportunity to leave a lasting impression, to ensure that your speech is not just heard, but felt, remembered, and even shared. It is the final note that echoes in their hearts and minds, reinforcing your core message long after you have left the stage.